Peace and love, everyone.
Peace, family, peace, bliss on bliss. We making this very short video today, just to talk about a very important subject, especially that's affecting our community, mainly the black community, and really parents at large, just that grew up and are developing inside of Western culture. So our topic for discussion, which is very brief, is going to be conscious parenting versus traditional parenting. Okay. And so the main message that I wanted to get across is because we have a long-standing issue with mental abuse and emotional abuse in our community. We need to stop hitting these children. We need to stop verbally abusing these children by raising our voice and yelling at them and cussing around them and basically giving them all of our unhealed baggage and our unhealed trauma. You know, it's very important because when you understand how to conscious parent, you understand that it's a space of reflection with your inner self, because all relationships essentially lead back to self. So you never want to harm the sacred bond between your children, and you always want to make sure that they are in a loving space and they love you and that they never fear you. Okay. It's so important, even when we have words in our culture such as whipping, right? Whipping and punishing our children. That's not our culture. Listen to these words. These words are indicative of a psychological state of being that we need to move away from. Okay? These children, they've only been on this earth for 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and they don't need that. They don't need the trauma. They don't need your unhealed emotional baggage. So conscious parenting is basically a dual paradigm where you recognize the child as your teacher as well as you being their teacher, but you don't want to control them and possess them as such and treat them as if they're your property. All you're doing is essentially guiding their souls and showing them boundaries. You're essentially showing them boundaries. And so that's my tidbit on conscious parenting.
And I'm with you all the way on that. And just wanted to also add on the balance side of that is to, if you have, many of us have made some missteps in our parenting and brought what we already knew into our parenthood. And we have to be able to forgive ourselves and know that just because we've already established something doesn't mean we can't dismantle it and create something new.
Exactly.
We can always find better ways to get our point across. We can always find and improve and refine ourselves. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for restoration and salvation. So this is not to say that, we've got it all right or that we have never made any mistakes. Of course we have. This is why we want to share this with you all, because it's something that we found within ourselves, something that we see has happened within our community, within our, just people that we know, just in our own upbringing. So the whole point of it is that if we come together as a collective to say that we want to try to do something different so that we don't have to see our children when they're adults talk about the traumas that they experience based off of our own unhealing, because that really is all that it boils down to. Unhealed people hurt others. People who get stuck in the cycle of being complacent in what they know is hurts other people. Not knowing yourselves, you hurt other people. Not giving space for people to develop and blossom into their own being creates friction and irritability within you that causes you to want to hurt somebody else, whether that be through your words, whether that be through your actions, whether it be through your energy. So the whole thing that we're talking about is just to go through like a cleansing, an energetic cleansing, a mental cleansing, an emotional cleansing, so that we can be better people for ourselves, better people for our spouses, better people for our friends, our children, and so that we can create a more beautified world, a more world that's filled with more loving kindness and gentleness and compassion. And that's not to say that just because you're doing this conscious discipline doesn't mean that we're not setting boundaries. Of course there needs to be boundaries. Of course there needs to be some type of structure and discipline. And it takes time to figure out what do those things need. And there is no one size fit all when it comes to that. You do have to find what fits best for the souls that, for the soul that you are and souls that we're guiding or souls that we're connecting with. Yeah. So I hope that that resonates to you. And you got anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to say, can you help me through? I wanted to say, when you are talking to your children and teaching them, we tend to react from the lower centers, mainly like the limbic system or the amygdala, which deals with fear and anger and triggers and things of that nature. But you don't want to react from the lower centers. You want to respond from your higher centers. You want to think about it before you say something. You want to put yourself in timeout and understand the effect, like Queen was saying, of your words and your energy. And God forbid, like if you're still hitting your children, what that will do to them. You know, we never want to violate their innocence and traumatize them, okay? But we need to learn that this is a dual process of self-reflection, and we cannot transmit to them what we are not in possession of ourselves.
Yeah.
So this is a journey into the self and healing.
A journey that we're all taking together.
Exactly.
All right.
You want to tell them YouTube to follow us, because we're definitely gonna make some more videos.
Follow us on YouTube. Right now it's under Akila McQueen. It's going to get reconstructed, creating a family channel. As well as follow us on IG, The Mystical Alchemist. See my little boo. You look so cute. And yeah, do you want to put your IG out there? Oh, Vegan's Paradise.
Yeah, Vegan's Paradise. So yeah, she gave the social media, and just stay tuned, family. We definitely want to make some more videos, because we're all in this together, and we're healing, and we love you guys.
Love you. Peace.
Peace.